we already got 95% of the engineering we've already paid for. Very little engineering. We got folks on staff. They can do a lot of that on-site work to cut cost. But this is nearly $100,000 under the money that we have on hand to build this building. And it's the best price we've got on anything ever so far. I can't understand for the life of me why you would want to hold up the construction of City Hall after 5 years of talking about it.
The site work, Dina and Jeff, we've heard 100,000, 150,000, and now you just said that it wouldn't be that much if I understood you right. What's your educated guess? I'm not holding you to it, but what's your educated guess?
Our educated guess is between 130 to 160, so 150 kind of right in the middle. But that depends if you are able to do some of the utility work on site. That would eliminate some of the costs.
Right, and let me just remind you that the city did the site work for the police department, and it was a nightmare. Not because our guys aren't good, it's just that's not their skill set. They're not trained to do site work, stormwater. That's not what they do. And we had to do it a couple of times to get it right. And I mean, we're getting ready to start our busy season. What are we going to do? Pull them off their day jobs? And it doesn't even make sense that we could say that our city staff has enough time or the skill set to do site work like that. That's pretty complicated.
I understand, with F&B, I hear that they're great builders. I have no question. And with 150,000 site work, we know it's going to be more than 566 because we know we're going to have change orders. That's a given. It's brand new, which is absolutely wonderful. You look at the Foley property, I don't see a problem personally of any building that's 40 years old or older. Many of us live in homes that are 40 years old or older that we have redone to meet our needs. I do think the 25,000 is not realistic, but I don't think that it would be any more than the stick building, than F&B, and I personally like that we have some land. We have an acre of land within that price versus a postage stamp lot, but.
We bid out the Foley property. Not one contractor came and bid out of 25 contacted directly by mail.
Well, they bid on the new construction.
Right.
They didn't bid on the renovation, they bid on the new construction, which was, I'm sure, by design. But let me just clarify the 25,000, Linda. I have it down there, number 3. 50,000 was the amount that the contractor gave us the day he toured it. He felt like 50,000 was reasonable to do the things that we wanted to do. I put 25 because after talking to Bo Krill, we know that there's very little we have to do to make it move-in ready. I mean, we've got to take that one bathroom that's already there, and we have to put the toilet and the sink in there. We have to add, I think, exit lighting. There was a few other things we had to add, and that's just the must-haves to get us in. I felt like if we did what we had to do to get us in, then over time we could budget every year and do other things. And that is stuff that our city workers can do in the off-season. I think this building is a beautiful example of what they can do.
And I agree with you. I think that we can do what we need to do to move in, and then every year, budget time, we budget something else. Philip did a great job in here. It can be done.
Under other, you have as expected for IT, HC, power. What was that total amount? Because you need to put that Foley property as well, because that's not wire either.
He could not, I've got that in the 25,000. He could not, yes, I do, yeah.
Do you think we can remodel it?
Well, yeah.
You don't have a bid for that, Ms. Castro. Where are you getting these numbers from? There's not a single bid on the table.
The issue, the question, what was the other question you asked? Just
The IT, the power, and the
Yeah,
ECUs and
when I
stuff.
talked to Kelly forehand, I mean, he would have to sit down and get the detailed specs and what you need him to do before he can give you a price. He couldn't possibly give you a price. That's what he said, that was his comment to me. And that he assumed that there would be a post-bid meeting where the city would sit down and give him all of your specific details, and then those would be handled as change orders, because it is a design-build contract, and that's typically how those work.
Okay, my turn? Okay, so, I think the $25,000 renovation fee for the, cost for the Foley property is ridiculously low. I believe that. The good thing about the Foley property, there's only two things good about the Foley property, is you have an acre of land and you don't have to disturb the park. Those are two huge pluses in my opinion. The age of the building, what that does, the only big deal about that is for the wiring, and I don't remember so what was the age of, what's the original age of that house? We don't know when the electrical or the plumbing has been updated. Those are the things that are gonna add to the cost of the renovation that we don't know. But you absolutely have to, if we took out the power play that we sometimes get into here at this council, you have to absolutely say that an acre of land is much better, is much more cost effective than a postage size of a lot. When the Foley property was not on as an option and the city park was the only option, that made sense. I just think if you took out the politics and just said acre of land versus 75 by 100, I don't think there's anybody in this room who would say 75 by 100 is better than an acre of land. Now, that being said, the 566 for, I'm looking only at F&B's bid, the 566, we're basically going to, in my opinion, be at the 566 easily for the renovation of the Foley property. Okay, so if we just all put our little biases away, 566 for an acre of land. Doesn't really matter that the house is originally 40 years old because you're going to update it. 566 for an acre of land, a building on an acre of land versus 566 for a very nice new building. And we disturb the park. If we could just, we have a lot of the power issues going on, and so really acre of land versus teeny tiny.
I'm trying to be patient.
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying,
I'll ask the question.
I'm trying hard. Yes, ma'am.
The Foley property, isn't it more than one building?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
No. Well, you
It's
have-
a building and a carport.
Yeah.
It's heated and cooled space.
With an extra building that can be used for the archives.
That's the
a
two-
separate-
that's the two
That's a
buildings.
separate building that's already there, heated and cooled for the archives.
It's about a $15,000 single stall carport. That's what it is.
I would actually love to hear citizens' comments.
Please. I would too. Please.
I think the Foley property is ridiculous,
Because,
because it's what you all talked about for 5 months. I mean, we messed up by not buying the property on 98 for $350,000 that we could have already been in.
let's talk reality here,
So
Jerry.
that was reality.
No,
tonight.
that was
You
not
only had
reality.
2 days to think about it.
2 days, right.
2 days.
And
It
he
took
would-
me 30 minutes.
Wait,
Well-
hold it down.
Okay,
Hold it
and that's
down.
fine, that's you. That's
Well,
not,
maybe I have more experience in this than you.
that
So
could
Dee,
be.
go ahead and
Probably
elaborate.
do.
Elaborate,
Wait, now,
Jerry.
one at a time.
Elaborate on your reason that the Foley property is ridiculous. I seriously want to
I don't see
know.
anything for site work there. You think we're not
And that's
doing
true.
site work there?
I think there will be site work.
I'd say $50,000 or $60,000.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I'm just guessing.
So that's what we're doing here. That to me is a problem. We are definitely guessing.
Everybody is
Yeah,
guessing.
absolutely.
Every one of them.
Yes,
Right.
I agree with that. So why else?
Well, that's good enough.
So let me ask you this, Jerry.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. And you and I have had many, many discussions, and I do value your opinion. So let's say, for instance, that we can make the Foley property, the Foley house. We do the site work, we do the renovation. Now, is it going to be a brand-new building? No, it's not going to be a brand-new building. Is it going to have every bell and whistle? No, it's not going to have every bell and whistle, and in my opinion, it should not have every bell and whistle. So let's just say it costs the Foley property $566,000 to do everything. Renovate, site work, whatever we have to do. And F&B is $566. If they're the same cost, do you think it would be more valuable to have an acre of land and not disturb the park versus disturbing the park, cutting the park in half, and having a very small piece of property that allows absolutely no growth?
Well, I think the park is a non-issue. We're gonna have park or park or park. We've got the park on 7th Street.
But if I can't, we cannot disturb that park. That park, because we have FERDAP grant money to do that park, we cannot take that park away. So that park is going to be there.
The square footage has to be the same.
Well, you can't disturb the playground.
What's the description of the park? I mean, tell me what the park is and what it should be.
We can use part of the park. We cannot
Yes.
discontinue the park.
Well, I'm for using part of the park.
And the size of this building is 3,200 feet, and the size of the park is 27,000 feet.
Right.
So it's about a tenth.
So we have a town of 1,100 people here that's gonna have 3 parks. And we're gonna have one very large park sooner or later, down the road. Parker property, Parker Park's gonna be nice and big, and it's gonna be noticeable from 98. It'll be something that tourists coming through can see. 7th Street, they have to look for that one, I agree. It turned out very nice, the guys did a good job with it. It's a nice little park. I go by there 3 or 4 times a day. I have seen nobody there. Nobody. Nobody.
Okay, keep on target here.
Well, that's part of my point. So, the park is not that important to me. If we're gonna do anything with that park, the main people that are using that park are 40 years old and older. As you all know, there's 45 or 50 people there on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday playing pickleball. Well, that's a lot better than 2 or 3 kids once a month there. Stop and think about that. And we've got other places for them. We've got no place for the adults.
But we're not going to, we still have to have the playground equipment at the park and the pickleball.
I'm saying let's make
not
playground
pickleball.
equipment for adults. Let's have.
Oh, that's a whole
playground.
different issue,
No,
so,
well, no, it's the same thing when you're all done with it. Okay, and the Foley property, the site work, it's gonna cost money. I have renovated several homes in my lifetime. Matter of fact, my wife renovated the one I'm living in now. Unbeknownst to me as to what all it was gonna cost. It was built in 1978. And they nearly came real close to having me redo all the study in that house because it didn't have all the work that's required now, like the metal pieces that hold the 2 befores together and all this stuff. Well, the Foley property does not have any of that. None of it. And
We're assuming that it doesn't. And yes, you do know much more than I do, but
Well,
we
I don't
haven't,
know a whole lot, but-
we are assuming
But my
that it
theory
doesn't.
all along has been to hire somebody that knew a lot more than any of us and let them dictate or decide what the city needed and be overseeing the building of whatever the city's gonna put up.
well, there will
Then
be.
you all would be having all this fussing and carrying on for 6 or 7 months.
There will be. Okay, back to my basic question. So, Foley property at 566, F&B new building 566. Would it be more valuable to have an acre of land or the house on the city park?
I think probably long-term, 20 or 30 years, yes. Next 5 or 10 years, 20 years, no. And the same point I was trying to make with that property on 98.
Well, listen, I'm with you. I don't think we need all this growth. I think we're in the day and age of virtual workers. I have never, you have been a proponent of growth. We're having so much growth. So I'm glad to see that you've come away to my side of thinking that we don't need all that growth in the next,
No, I kind of like
25
it the way it
years.
is. The more I live here, the more I like it the way it is. When I first moved here from Clearwater, Florida, and living in Tampa, and fighting the traffic down there, not to mention, well, everything else. And it took me a year or two to adjust to living here. But I've adjusted, and I like it. And I think the majority of the people living here like this pace that we live in. And we don't have too many teenagers living around here. They're mostly my age. We think like teenagers. But I like this place, and I like it is, and I'm liking it more every week like it is, and that's why I'm gonna be on the council in June. And that's why it's gonna be real interesting come June 1st.
Just want to hear other
Just
people.
point of order,
Mary and I are gonna have a big time.
point of order. Can we get back to business here? I'd like to go home soon.
Well, I would too.
So, I just want to make one
I
comment.
listen to you for hours and hours.
Well, I'm sitting up here, you're sitting out
Well,
there,
I
that's
know
what
that.
happens.
It's boring
But,
as
but
fuck.
let me say something, and I'm willing to hear any of your comments about City Hall, but all the other stuff, people want to get out of here. As far as the Foley property, let's don't forget that the Foley property went through a significant renovation recently. And when we toured that property, just so you'll know, you keep saying that we should bring people in who know, we toured that property with Bo Creel, our building inspector, who's responsible for inspecting every building from, gosh, I don't know what all the counties he covers. And he brought a local commercial contractor with him. They looked at that property. They went all through that property. They told us what we needed, what we didn't need, what we could do. I talked to him about several things. Their initial thought was we could do whatever we needed to do on that property for $50,000. Now, the 25 that I have here, I went back to what Bo said was just the must-haves, what we would really have to do, and I knew that the IT room was going to be an issue. So I came up with the 25,000 based on what the split mini would cost and all of that stuff. So 25,000 is not to completely renovate that property. That's to get us in. And according to Bo, other than those few things that he gave us, we could move right in there and use that as commercial property. And again, as Mary said, is it gonna have all the bells and whistles? No, but I tell you what, none of these 4 bids will either. They're basic
Well, I
buildings.
appreciate your point.
Okay, we're going to hear other citizens' comments, please, Ann.
How many
Please
square
come up.
feet is
I'm
the,
sorry, I'm having trouble hearing.
How
I'm
many
having
square-
trouble hearing.
What's the square footage of the Foley house?
About 2,600.
It's 28 in the main structure, and I think there's either 400 or 600 square feet in the outdoor
The plan
building.
that you have for the stick build would be about 32?
About 3,200.
So it's considerably smaller.
Well, no, it's got 2 buildings between the 2,800 and I don't remember if it's 400 or 600.
Well, how far is that other building that you,
It's right
Oh.
across the.
25 steps.
how are you gonna connect it?
No, that
We're
would
not.
keep, where they would keep the archives. So they wouldn't need them all the time, but where they would keep their archives would be right in that building.
So the 3,200 that you're talking about
Would-
would include the archive?
Right.
You all have opinions. Come on, this is your time to give us your thoughts. We really need them.
Because otherwise, we'll hear from you
Please come
after
up.
we make a decision.
I can't hear you. They can't hear you. This is televised.
Anyway, an acre of land is the most sensible thing to have. I've gone to Municipal Park, if you cut that in half, I think somebody called it a postage stamp, that's what it's gonna be. It's more feasible to have the whole acre so you can have parking. you'll be able to build parking there. Because when they're playing pickleball and you wanna go pay your bill, there's no parking. So you'll be able to take them over here. Granted, I'm not a contractor, but to me, if I'm gonna buy property, I would definitely want something that has a little bit more land than a postage stamp. And I know they wanna wait until June. And my opinion is, you wait until June, then some people have their vote going their way. And that's all I gotta say.
Okay? I recommend we table this issue.
I think I'm ready to vote.
I have one fact I'm going to give,
Okay.
And
and
this-
that is that none of these options are within our budget of what we have remaining.
We understand that?
So just keep that in mind, that we do not have that in our monthly remaining.
We understand that, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding us though, because
We
we
do
needed
have
that
dollar
reminder.
amount for the 416 base bid.
But you've still got to do the 150, 160 site work. You can't just talk about the base bid.
We can.
So
I recommend we table this.
here's my largest concern, because I could make a vote, it may not be right, or it probably isn't gonna be right. But, you know, I've said 50 times, if I've said it once, and this is why we investigated the Foley property, is to look at all of the options and compare them, so that we could make a wise decision. Unfortunately, we're not doing that, because we did not get any bidders for the renovation of the Foley property, and most definitely F&B did not bid on that renovation, even though they had plans to, because of the new construction. So that, that was, 2020 hindsight. We shouldn't have done it that way. So, my fear is, and it's proven on this chart here, is we don't have enough money to do what we want to do. We still have to furnish the building, we still have to do the paving, we still have to do a lot of stuff. So it's a building that is out of our reach, really, financially anyway, no matter what we do here. So that's a problem for me. That's a problem for me, because we don't know what we're getting into here.
I recommend that we table the issue.
Guys, let's don't table that issue. We need to vote and we need to move it forward.
I can tell you right now, if this goes the wrong way for me, I'm gonna hold a special meeting on the 1st of June with a subject of reconsidering this vote.
And
So-
why would you do it on the 1st of June?
Because we have a new council on the 1st of June that disagrees with the people on this table.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. That's okay with me. That's okay with me to wait until June 1. We just prolong the inevitable. Either way, we're going to be over budget. Either way, we're still going to struggle with how we're going to pay for this and what we're going to have at the end of the day. So it's fine with me to table it.
Okay?
Question, will the Foley's take anything less than 5?
No, ma'am.
They came up with 496, didn't they?
No, 504.
504, but they're paying
A month and a half
closing.
ago, we went out with two directions. We put out a bid, said, give us a custom design bid. You can either make it modular, you can make it metal, or you can make it stick built. And then on the side, Ms. Castro went back and tried to get contractors to come give us a price for the renovation of the Foley House. Nobody came back on this side. 5 came back on this side. We had modular, we had stick built. And this guy is $200,000 below all the other stick built. We got site work everywhere we got to look at. We got a brand new building.
But isn't that
But-
because they're not gonna make $500,000 or $800,000
Yes.
if they,
Yes.
if they bid on the remodeling the Foley, they're going to get a few dollars.
Right.
And
Or
to
if they
answer your
hold
que-
out, if they refuse right now to remodel the Foley, they have
Then
a
we'd
chance
probably
at
have bids.
$800,000.
Yeah.
And
And
push
to
this on
answer
down the
your
road for
question-
Not
months.
because it's not a good property or a good idea, it's because they want to make $800,000.
Right, and that's exactly right, because as Mary said, I know Mary knew F&B wanted to build on the renovations. I know another contractor was gonna bid on the renovations, but ended up bidding on one of these because we put it out at the same time. So it wasn't because they didn't want to, they looked at the one where they had the opportunity to make the most money off of.
And to answer your question, yes, we did offer Mr. Foley low 400s, and he refused. And then we came back, and I think we offered him 490 or something like that. And he said 504, and they would pay the closing costs. So,
Well, the closing cost is a non-issue.
Right,
They're
but-
paying the typical closing cost for a seller, so that's a non-issue. But 504, so they do want above appraisal value, that's another issue for me.
I have a question.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
happens if you do buy the Foley house and then you can't find anybody to do renovations?
oh, there's somebody out there.
Yeah, I can tell you, when they know we're not building new, they'll be back. But again, as Bo has told all of us, and I know, Mary, you asked Bo specifically about what would be needed for the, should I talk, continue, or stop, or?
I talked with the city attorney right before I came here, said there's absolutely no reason not to accept the bid as we advertised it.
And I understand, and I don't have a problem with you tabling it. However, I do have a problem with you saying that if we vote for it, you will have a special meeting June 1st to rescind it. That I do have a problem with, because what you're setting up is council members against council members.
No, they get to vote any way they want to.
But, and I
you
agree,
know already.
as of June 1st, but they're not on the council now. They're not on the council
And
right
you're
now.
not a cowboy, sir.
I've been sitting
You're
here,
the mayor of Mexico Beach, and you should look at everyone.
I am trying.
Everyone.
I am trying.
No, you're not, because you just stood up there and pulled out your six gun. I'm gonna wait till next June
Okay.
1st.
I've
That's exactly
recommended,
what you did.
I've recommended that we table it, and I've had a concurrence to table this issue. But I do have something else to say before we get through. Mr. Brinkmeyer got up tonight. He was quoting from a document that was client attorney privileged information. There's only 6 copies of that document made, and I know who got all 6 of them. So that was a violation of the law. Mr. Brinkmeyer told everybody here what that document said. That was his option. But he's very much incorrect in what he was saying. And
All I
he's
know is
influenced a lot of
I saw you
people.
on video bringing up the fact that
Ma'am,
you did not want
it's my turn
use
to talk.
this CDGB grant.
It's my turn to talk.
Yeah, if I'd stood up.
There's
with,
only- I've been on the
like
phone.
Mr. Pickle wouldn't have shut up, then
Ma'am, I've been on the phone with our attorney up to 25 minutes before this meeting today. The reason I have not signed a document for the Community Development Block Grant, because we have a conflict between our comprehensive plan and our land development ordinances. Yes, ma'am, we do.
Can I,
We have, matter of fact, we have 2 conflicts. Our attorney has been talking to their attorney, and there's a simple solution to this. But our attorney has recommended to me that we give him time to prepare a document to bring back before the council in the next meeting. Simple as that. I don't have a problem going forward with the Community Development Block Grant if we resolve the conflict between
Mayor,
the LDR.
point of order.
Not quite.
point of order? That's not on the agenda, but I would love to talk about it because people here, I know Mr. Dingman's here, I know that letter's been stalled. So again, under ordinance 617, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules and let the CDBG grant discussion take place. Because I'd like to be able to share with the council what I have.
Are you making a motion?
Yeah, I'd
that
like
we
to make
suspend the rules?
a motion that we
Second.
allow the discussion.
We have a motion and a second. We're going.
Okay,
we
now
don't
go
need
ahead,
to-
I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure we got that.
We have a motion to suspend the rules and a second. Call the roll.
Ms. Blackburn,
This is craziness. Can I ask a question before I vote on that?
Yes.
Mr. Dingman, are we under a time crunch here, or what?
I know.
I know.
The doctor, you want us to? Dennis Thing and Summer Professional Services. The program works in a serial fashion. And so this document that we provided a month ago is to go to the Indian tribes, and they need 30 days to review it before we can do the next step in the program. So in that sense, yes, we are under a time crunch because we can't go on to the next step, which is site specific environmental reviews, which is a long process in itself. So this documentation process just takes, it takes literally 6 months or more to do. So every time you take a month out,
Right.
it takes longer and longer. And so we're moving towards the end period of the grant. We haven't even begun to do
Right.
other things.
Okay, yes, okay.
Well-
Yeah, I think we've been sitting on that letter a month, maybe, about a month.
Now, we're already having a special meeting for the change orders for Canal. And didn't you have, Mel, something that you had, the paperwork had to come in and we had to have done by the 30th of this month?
The floodplain ordinance, but I
Okay.
spoke with them today that we can go to our first meeting in June. It's-
Okay, so otherwise we could do it with that. So can we do this before the end of June, or when they have this special meeting for the canal?
This week? Yeah, we can. I just wanted to make sure that the council had information. I have this email that I just got from Nick right before the meeting. He says he agrees that moving forward would not violate the comp plan. There are concerns with the LDR, and I think the concerns stem around, is Rustic Sands a true RV park because of the LDR? And that's what he's addressing, but he said that moving forward would not violate our comp plan. There's no concern in the comp plan, and I've got his email right here if you guys want to see it.
And I talked to him for half an hour after he wrote that email, when he called me, because he got some new information. The Rustic Sands is indeed an RV park, it's state approved. There it is right there.
Yes.
This spreadsheet is 6 pages long. And it says that it's an RV park with 25 mobile home spaces in it. And I found this, and it's on the state website. It's a little unusual to have mobile home sites in there. I'm not contesting that.
30 years, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Did we
contesting
suspend
that.
the rules, or no? Did we? Yeah, no.
I don't want to
We
be out
did.
without heat for another winter.
Did we?
Okay, I need the assistance. I need the
Ma'am?
help. I'm asking you
Whether
to
we
help
discuss,
us.
whether we discuss or not, I will tell you this. If we can simply resolve the conflict in the language between the land development regulation and the comprehensive plan, and that's a council function, I can sign the document and this can move on right away. But it's simply a legal issue in our own documents that they conflict each other. That's what I picked up on, and that's my only standpoint. I'm not trying to get anybody off the list. I'm trying to make sure we don't, there's a couple people shaking their head.
You said you wanted to send the money back. I saw you say it on the video.
Yes, I did. That was an option that the agency gave me. That was an option the agency gave me.
And that's what you want to do.
Ma'am, a lot of water's crossed under the bridge since last meeting. A lot of research and a lot of talk, and 2 days talking with our attorney and he talking with their attorneys. That's what I'm telling you at tonight. It's not on the agenda, but I'm prepared to go forward with the Community Development Block Grant just like it is, providing this council gets together and resolves the conflict between the comp plan and the LDR, because the comp plan trumps the LDR. And the comp plan is the problem. If we just correct that language, we don't have a problem.
let's correct
And
the
I won't have a legal problem either, because if I signed the document I was asked to sign, I would actually be signing something that I believed was a violation of federal law. It would be fraud if I signed that, because there's a conflict that was not discovered. I pointed that out. That's where this thing is, and it gets blown up all out of proportion when we're simply trying to do it right for a change in Mexico Beach instead of the errors we've made in the past.
Sir, we've been doing it right for over a year now with this grant. Before you ever came into the picture, we've been following every step. We've been crossing every T. We've been dotting every I. Over a year, we have been working on this.
And it has been done in the past. And now both sides understand that we do have some issues in our written code
Then
for the
fix it.
city. I am really trying to.
Well, I guess,
It's Mr. Pickles' problem with $5,000. All I'm asking is for you to fix my problem with a simple signature.
but we had a motion and a second to suspend the rules, and we're talking about it, so I assume the rules have been suspended. I don't agree that there's a conflict, and I've had, first of all, that spreadsheet I found off the website, and I sent it to the city attorney. And I've also talked to Mr. Joe Scully at Bay County Health Department, who regulates rustic sands. And he said that rustic sand, the state only lets you have one category. You can either be an RV park or a mobile home park. The state combines them together. Rustic sands can have both. They can have both mobile homes and RVs. They're state approved for both. The state lists you based on the majority of your land use. In Rustic Sands case, they have 80-something RV sites and 25 mobile home, but they're still state approved for both. So the question is not a question about our comp plan. Nick says there is no issue with our comp plan. What Nick said at 5 o'clock today is that there's some language for RV parks in our land development regulations. If you read that, it tells you pretty much, it mirrors pretty much what the state regulations are for RV parks, so it's not really anything new. The question is, what Nick told me today is Rustic Sands, does the city consider Rustic Sands a mobile home park under the definition in our land development regulations? And his question was, he said, I can't answer that because I don't know how you've treated it before. Well, I do know, I talked to Royce in the building department, and we've handled permits since 1991, when the language went into the LDR. We've handled lots of permits for, well, I say lots, permits moving mobile homes in and out of Rustic Sands. I mean, we have always, the building department's always considered them a mobile home park, that they can move those in. So the question is, how does the city see that? And that's the issue that Nick says we're gonna have to clarify. Now, what was interesting that I found later, and I didn't see when I was talking to Nick, is that it says that a mobile home, by definition, our land development regulations, a mobile home includes park trailers, travel trailers, it includes all of those. So if you look at our land development regulations, if you say that RV parks can't have mobile homes, well, by page 98 of our land development regulations, the definition includes travel trailers and park trailers. So that would mean that our RV parks couldn't exist at all because they couldn't have mobile homes. So we do need to clarify, Nick said we're gonna need to clarify the ambiguity that's in the land development regulations, but to hold up this letter that we've been sitting on for a month, to hold up folks who have been waiting on help, doesn't make sense to me. It is the wrong thing to do. And when you had the same information we did, back in March, we had a list of the applicants, we had their names, we had their addresses. Mr. Dingman stood up here and told us that once they get in and assess them, some may need to be replaced, some may need to be repaired. So we knew that there was a possibility that mobile homes in Rustic Sands may need to be replaced. And we unanimously approved that plan, and we approved the applicants, we approved the sites, and we approved it to move forward. And then last Wednesday, we come to the meeting and find out that all this has changed. So I don't think that we need to table this. I think that we need to move it forward and then deal with if there's ambiguity in the land development regulations, clean that up later at Nick's direction, let him finish the research and tell us what we need to do. But I don't see any reason why we need to hold up signing that letter and getting this grant moving forward. We stalled it for a month already.
I agree with you, and I think last meeting, we asked Nick to find out some information. If he put it in writing that we can go with the comp plan, then I'd say, let's go with it. If we have a discrepancy with our comp plan and LDR, and over the year, since I've been here, we have had discrepancies with various paperwork that we rely on, which we continually straighten up. And so if we waited until we straighten this up, who knows how long would be.
It would expire.
I would say, just go ahead.
already dragging
Nick said
the
we had
feet.
the okay, and that's what we wanted him to do, to give us yes or no. I say, let's go with it.
Nick simply asked me to let him prepare a document to bring back to the council. He needed 2 days at least to digest all the information he got up to 5:30 today. Simple as that.
He says he agrees that moving forward would not violate the comp plan.
I see.
That's the issue. That was the issue you raised last week. You said that it would violate our comp plan, and our comp plan was the Bible. It does not violate our comp plan. Any issue that's in the land development regulations, this council has the authority to change. We have the authority to change, by vote, the land development
And the
regulations.
comp plan too, if you go through the process.
But we don't need to change the comp plan. There's nothing wrong with the comp plan. There's no issue in the comp plan.
The comp plan says that you can't have a mobile home.
Well, I do,
At all.
but I do.
It says you can't.
And okay, so it's just a figment of my imagination that I live in a mobile home?
Ma'am, now you're getting it.
5.5 years I've lived in it.
Now you're getting it.
Can I
The comp
read?
plan trumps the LDR.
Oh, I can read out the
Well,
comp
the comp
plan.
plan says that it's okay.
Mayor, I could read the
As
comp
of your
plan.
words that you just spoke right now. The
Yes.
comp plan trumps the LDR.
Let
You
Yes.
say you're waiting on the LDR.
I am.
let me just,
You're just trying to make it difficult, aren't you, sir?
No.
let
I'm
let
trying
me,
not to sign
Yes.
an illegal document.
Yes, he's trying to make it difficult. He
Let-
just said the comp plan trumps.
let me just read the comp plan. Page 32, general commercial. This district is intended to provide areas for the maintenance and development of high-intensity commercial land uses, including retail sales and services, wholesale sales, shopping centers, office complexes, mobile home, RV parks, only in a state recognized or approved mobile home park, and other similar land uses which generate concentration of pedestrian and vehicular traffic. Mobile homes are prohibited in that land category if they're not in a state-approved mobile home or RV park. That's right from the comp plan.
Actually, I think it says mobile homes are prohibited in this zoning classification.
In this land use category, unless they're in a mobile home or an RV park.
Granted, there's a conflict, that's what I just said, there's a conflict within our own comp plan. There's a conflict within the plan.
But
That's not a
I don't see
conflict.
how we can hold this up, because there's a conflict between two of the LDR and the comp plan.
No, within the comp plan.
That's
Within
not
the
what
comp
Nick
plan.
told me at 5 o'clock, and he has all the information, he's had all the information for several days.
Can I ask what document that needs to be signed that we're waiting on? What's the document?
It is a simple document.
It's
It's
the,
simply-
It is
I
a
will-
tribal
Ma'am,
compensation letter.
I'll answer the question, please. It's simply a letter that has to come from me as the mayor to the Seminole tribe. But that letter, what got my attention, it said we're replacing 2 mobile homes in Rustic Sands RV Park. I didn't know that. That started me researching for days to find out if signing that letter was legal. Because I remembered reading in the comp plan that it was not allowed to put out not allowed to have RVs, or mobile homes, I'm sorry, in general commercial, which I knew was wrong with the LDR. That's what started the whole process working. That's what you missed last week.
and
But we
that's
were
the mayor's
notified.
interpretation.
When they first got the list, that they were in.
Right, absolutely, I understand that. Yeah, I don't see the conflict as well. Mobile homes are allowed in a mobile home park, that's the only place they're allowed. So I don't see the conflict as well, but that being said,
Even
when
the
will Nick
semantics.
have the documentation that will
2 days.
solve the problem?
He said give him 2 days.
So we can put it on the same meeting that we're gonna have for the change orders.
We don't even necessarily need to have a meeting. He just needs to.
I agree with
provide-
that. We've already approved the, what Nick needs to do is resolve the issue in Tom's mind.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and what Nick said to me today, he said, you can make a motion tonight to move it forward, if you want to do that. If you guys want to wait 2 days, we can wait 2 days, but I don't know what, I mean, I talked specifically with Nick today about the RV park issue.
So
I don't understand
Tanya,
the thought
if we vote to move it forward, the mayor still has to sign the document.
Or the mayor pro tem can sign the document, the mayor or the mayor pro tem. So if he doesn't feel comfortable signing, I'd be happy to sign
Would
it.
you like to sign it?
I'd be happy to sign it.
Done deal. It ain't
Okay.
legal, but it's a done deal. Is that correct, Mr. Dean? It does have to come from the mayor, does it not?
The resolution, the resolution 20,015-1 states that the council authorizes the mayor and directs him to sign all documents required by the agency, and in his absence, the mayor pro tem.
In my absence.
Yeah. So.
I've already asked that, Tanya, because I was gonna let you do that, but that won't work. In 2 days' time.
Your
I'll
absence would
see.
be your failure to sign it. That would be an absence from your duty. We could argue
think so.
semantics, but
We could argue semantics, or words that
So-
they have a state approved,
Ms. Lana, check back with us in 2 days.
but believe it or not, that's also an issue, ma'am. The fact that the state calls it an RV park, that's actually an issue according to the attorney.
it's
So,
not an issue.
well, it's,
Not an issue.
let's see. But I'm gonna be satisfied before I sign a document that I think may not be legal. I'm gonna be sure. Because we're gonna do it right.
Good to know.
And then after this, we'll have all this fixed ahead of time. Because what the state is telling me now, if we don't want to include mobile homes in the future, if that's some issue for a city, the city can exclude any zoning class they like. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about getting me satisfied that I'm gonna sign my name to a legal document and let this proceed. That's what we're talking about.
Today's Tuesday, Wednesday.
I'll be at your office in 2 days.
I wish I had one, but we hadn't got a city hall built yet.
And speaking of that,
Be smart about it, sir. This isn't funny to me.
This isn't funny to me at all. I don't like to get thrown
Why
under
are
the
you
bus.
making jokes?
I'm trying to lighten it up a little, ma'am. And it's getting
It's
pretty
not funny.
tense. It's not funny.
Ms. Lana, just check
It's
back.
This
where I
is-
live, sir.
This is serious stuff.
It is.
This is not
Did you have
doorknobs in
this
City Hall.
measure?
This is not doorknobs in City Hall. This is serious stuff. This is the code of the city we're talking about. This is serious stuff.
It is not, because it's a state-run place.
But ma'am, it's a state-run place inside of a municipality which has self-rule.
Oh, my God.
Ms. Lana, if he needs to listen, hear from the attorney, just check back in 2 days.
He has no office. Where am I supposed to check?
You
You
can
can
call
check.
me.
Check with Mel.
call it
Yeah.
any one
You
of
call me at
us.
home. My number's on the web. My cell number and my house number's on the web. Just call me. If the attorney's got the information back, we're gonna resolve this and move on. But like I said, I was on the phone with him for half an hour before I came to this meeting. And he is just as confused right now as he was 2 days ago.
So when Nick gets back with the answer, Mel, maybe you can email all of us what Nick
I'll be happy to see.
said.
I just want to clarify something that the mayor just said, because I hate it when we say things that aren't accurate and people leave with the wrong information. The Florida Public Record Law is very clear. Correspondence between elected officials and the city attorney is public record unless exempted by law, and the exemptions under law, I believe, are things like active union bargaining or,
Litigation.
I'm sorry, say that.
Litigation.
Active litigation for a lawsuit that's already been filed. Other than that, if it's in writing, it's public record and it's available to anyone. That's why if you're an elected official, you want to go talk to your city attorney and not necessarily put something in writing that you don't want somebody else to see. So I just want to clarify that. I don't like people leaving with incorrect information.
Let's finish up, Chief.
Don't take it personal.
What?
Don't take it personal.
I'm not. I never do. Mayor and council, I'm trying to make this quick. We completed the annual comparison between 2014 and 2015 for our law enforcement liaison program. We've increased in all areas, including DUI, speed, and careless driving. We've also had 29 more crashes than we had last year. So, Officer GM40 resigned. We hired Reserve Officer Richard McSweeney to fill that position. He has over 20 years experience in corrections and the highway patrol. Instructor in several different areas, and he's already in single car status. As everyone's already been made aware, Sergeant Bailey had an injury at his home where he had to be hospitalized. He's going to be out of work for quite an extensive period of time. In his absence, I'll be working code as primary, and then the other officers will be picking up slack. And I'm learning as I go day by day that code's not too fun. But anyway, started training with the ESU and fire department. We've done the mutual training for the response water rescue. Also went through the ambulance locations and all the drawers that are on the ambulance, what they all contained. Our mule is down. I'm not spending any more money on the mule. It's $1,400 to replace the fan. That's not in the report, but I'm not spending $1,400 to replace a fan. And we don't have beach patrol anyway, so. We do have 2 vehicles that I just spent $1,700 on repairing one, and it's messed up again. I'm not putting any more money into that vehicle. It will be surplus if the council so desires. Another $1,700 motor job for the Dodge Durango that we don't have money for. We'll surplus it. Canal Parkway remains closed, and except for the residents, especially now since the failure of the pavilion. Relay for Life, we're waiting on the final tallies to come in. We still have donations coming in, so next month's report will have that. Code enforcement had a total of 52 calls with 6 follow-up investigations from what I could tell on the actual breakdown on the calls attached for the next 2 pages. Yearly comparison. Pending any questions, that's my report.
Questions? Okay, Mark?
Real quick, month of April, did monthly training. As Chief said, Police Department joined us for water rescue and ambulance training. Total of 28 calls, 22 medical emergencies, and 6 fire calls. Any questions? I'll keep it short and simple.
Are those house structures, fires?
2 of that. One was assisting St. Joe Beach with a structure fire. They had a house fire one night that we were over there for quite a while on, and the other ones were grass fires or fire alarms.
All right, thank you, Mark. Public Works, Bill?
We have no report.
Okay, Mr. Quinn?
My report is attached. It's got the new numbers from the budget amendments that are passed. That's why you see the significant change in the percentages. Any questions on the report, I'll take them, and seeking direction on yes or no, are we canceling the workshop, and what day we are scheduling a special meeting.
I'd like to request that we schedule the special meeting for Thursday, either tomorrow night or Thursday morning.
We're gonna have to go till Friday at 9:06 for 3-day notice.
For what?
That's the earliest we could hold it.
And what is that for? The
3-day
budget?
notice to post it.
For the budget amendment?
I'm talking about the special meeting for the change order. earliest we could do is 9:06 on Friday,
9:06 a.m.
PM.
I won't be here on
PM?
Friday.
3 days from this moment.
Well, then, so then it's Monday.
No, I'll
So
be
then-
back, I won't be back until Wednesday, going out of town, unless we do it Thursday. I guess we could do everything but that and do that in the workshop, I don't know, just,
I just need direction on what I need to post and what's gonna happen.
We talked about already canceling the workshop before.
Yeah, I don't understand canceling a workshop. I don't understand that at all. I think we need to move forward with a workshop.
I agree, I mean,
The special meeting as soon as possible, other than Friday at 9 o'clock at night.
And then keep the workshop.
Yes.
Monday?
can we do it Tuesday? No.
Tuesday.
And we're just, basically, it's the change orders for the meeting, right?
Well, we've got the change orders, we've got, what else did we say? We need to finalize the CDBG, but that may not require a meeting, but.
Right. So just change orders, just the change orders.
So we can do that Monday morning.
Oh, the flood
You can do
insurance
Monday morning, you
thing?
can
No,
do-
you were gonna wait
We can
till
wait till
June on
June.
that one.
I'll get that budget amendment done too. The first reading of that ordinance.
You even got back the information for that other issue.
For the floodplain,
Yeah.
I had sent it in and, on Monday, and I haven't got a reply yet. So we should get it later this week.
But we can't finish that until we get it back and look at that and know it's ready to go for a second reading.
Right.
Monday, 9 a.m.
Fine.
with an ordinance amending the budget and a change order for the canal project. And the workshop is still on.
The 24th.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good. Announcements, I'm sorry, Mel?
I'll be quick, I'll include this in the weekly report as well, but we got a letter from EPCI. Everyone knows that Bo Creel is the CEO of EPCI, but the changes are Mr. Michael Hodges will be serving as the building official for the entirety of the EPCI operations. And Mark Hodges will now be serving as the building official for the city of Mexico Beach.
Say their names one more time, I'm sorry.
Michael Hodges, have you heard the name Scooter before?
Yeah. I don't
He
know
doesn't
who
look like a
is, but I've
scooter to
never
me,
seen
but
him,
that's, his name is his name.
Okay.
And then Mark Hodges will be the Mexico Beach building official.
So Royce is staying, or this is just,
Oh, she's staying.
oh, this is just in addition?
Yeah,
to-
these are the
okay.
folks that go out and do the actual inspections. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Announcements, please. Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.